morning, and here we are at the cabin once again. And today is the day I'm going to tackle the kitchen. I have my hair tied back out of the way, I have my gloves on, and I have my respirator mask ready in just a minute. Now, a couple of things. Thank you so very much for all of you. When you watched our laundry video, you were very concerned about us and hantavirus. Hantavirus is a virus that is carried by mice, and it is localized pretty much to the southwest. And in the 1990s, when hantavirus was first identified and the news got out, a lot of us who lived in the southwest were pretty panicky because, you know, we live in the southwest. There are mice here, and I'm sure there are mice everywhere, but we see them. We see them in our garages. Sometimes they get into our homes. And so there was a lot of anxiety about that. But as it turned out, hardly anyone ever got hantavirus. And so gradually the furor died down. And I can tell you that even though I have lived with it I am not all of that concerned about it, even though we have mice entering our lives once in a while. Now, when we came to the cabin, I was a little bit concerned because of the amount of droppings. But we have been up here now 3 times for cleaning, 1 time just for exploring. Today we're here for 3 days. And one of the things that we have noticed is that after I did some cleaning in the kitchen, just on the countertop to put our stuff down, we had 2 weeks of really bad weather when we didn't come up. So it has been 3 weeks since we have been up here. There were hardly any new mouse droppings, maybe 1 or 2. There were about 3 in a little corner over here. So our mouse infestation is not what I thought it was. What I think is that what we are seeing is the accumulation over years of neglect. And we're going to be very cautious. Now, I looked up some information on the CDC about the incidence in hantavirus in our state, which is Utah. And over the past 30 years, since hantavirus first came on the scene, we have had an average of 1 case per year. The same for Arizona, the same for New Mexico. Now, we're well aware that Gene Hackman's wife died of that, and there just had to be some strange circumstances surrounding that because it is so very rare. On the CDC website, they have a list of things that we should do if we're cleaning up after mice. They don't even mention the use of a mask. Now, I am going to be using a mask, especially in some areas where the leavings are especially bad. But here's what we're going to do according to the CDC. No sweeping and no vacuuming to stir up the dust. The virus is carried in the dust, so we're going to keep the dust to a minimum. If necessary, I will spray the floor first before I sweep it to just calm the dust down to get things out. Then what we do is we go into cabinets. Now, there are some cabinets here that are really pretty mouse-free. There's no droppings here except on the bottom level, but everything else doesn't have any. There's some glassware up here that I have not put my stool up there to check that out. But I'm going to start here, and here's what the CD says to do. I have my spray bottle of Clorox to the amount of Clorox here that the CDC has suggested. And then I just spray, especially if there are mouse droppings, which there are none here. And then I just let this sit for 5 minutes, and then we wipe it up, not with a cloth, but with paper towels. And so we have come prepared with a lot of paper towels. And then what I'm doing with the paper towels is we've got the fire burning over here. I'm just tossing them in the fire. Otherwise, the CDC says to put them in a garbage bag that has a lid on it and then dispose of it the way you dispose of your garbage. So right here, I'm not going to be worried about a mask. But I want to show you the rest of the kitchen so that you know what we're dealing with. So for now, I'm completely ignoring the Viking stove. That's a project for a different day, maybe even a different weekend. But most of these cabinets, the upper cabinets, and I'm going to start in the upper, I don't have a ladder tall enough to get up on top. I'm going to have to come back and do the top later with a taller ladder. I just have a 2-step step stool. So I'm going to be doing upper cabinets, and there are some things in these upper cabinets that are going to be thrown away like this and like this, but there's no mouse droppings. And so here are these cabinets. All dishes are going to be completely washed with hot soapy water now that I have hot water. And then, as you can see, more dishes. All of this will be washed. There wasn't very much in this little Lazy Susan right here. Now, these two cabinets I have sanitized early this morning so that we could put our things in there. So these will all be redistributed and organized, but right now they're just being secured up there where the mice do not get. Most of the stuff we brought with us this time, but I do have some utensils and things that I'm keeping separate from those that are in the cabin, because those are still dirty with mice. So these two cabinets are done, so we can close those off. So I'm starting up high, and then I'm moving now. These countertops have been cleaned and sanitized a number of times since we've been coming up. But here is probably the most filthy mess right down here at this low cabinet. It looks like the mice were having a party constantly.
So it's been a while since I've seen you. How you doing?
Ah, this is a lot of work. I just hit a big mess. There were utensils in here, and it was just covered with droppings, so I've sprayed it thoroughly with the Clorox water. I'm letting it sit for 5 minutes, and we'll see what's down here. Oh, another disaster. So, well, this will be very easy to clean. I'm just going to dump the whole thing. Okay, and this one too. Oh, I'm getting low on Clorox water. I need to mix up another batch. I've been pulling these drawers out and emptying them. I almost hate to pull this drawer out. Well, not too bad, but I'm going to throw away everything. So
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
that's how I'm doing.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not going to win any beauty contest today.
Oh, you're always beautiful for me.
Oh, you're so sweet. Onward and upward.
We're back. How you doing?
I'm about ready for a break, but look, for top cabinets, I'm all the way over to here.
Oh, wow.
I've done some of the bottom
From
cabinets.
over here?
Yeah, all the way around.
Okay.
And I've washed all these dishes from here. And I've
Wow.
washed a zillion plates from here. Look at these plates. There must be like 50 of them.
Wow.
Little teeny tiny ones. I've never seen, they're plastic, but they are good. So I'm washing them. But I'm ready for a break. Let's go take Max out.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay,
All right.
so we'll be back in a while.
How are you doing? You sound tired.
I am exhausted, just exhausted. But this has really been a labor of love. I'm in this worst of all cabinets right here. There were 6, absolutely 6 skeletal remains of mice in there.
Wow.
And so I got most of it out. I have sprayed it with Clorox, and so it is soaking. In fact, I'm going to give it another spray. I actually need this mask as much for the Clorox fumes as for the mouse droppings. So I've done everything. All of the dishes are now done, which is great. I'm just waiting for these to dry, and I'm going to put them up there. And then I just have this Lazy Susan, and this, I just found a blender, an old Osterizer,
It's kind of old.
very old. It'll be fun to see if it still works.
Yeah.
But I've cleaned this cabinet right here. Everything up here is our stuff, so it's already sanitized. But look what I still have.
Wow. Can you pull
I'm
one of those
Yeah.
out? Wow.
So I see one mouse dropping right there. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to wash everything.
No doubt.
Everything. And then,
You need to put up a sign that says find someplace else to party.
then this one is not too bad. Mice have been in there. I am finding this product I just love. This is a Easy Off cleaner and degreaser, and it is working fantastic. So it's picking up a lot of this stuff that evidently people put greasy stuff down and then it gets hard, and so it's really taking care of it.
Yeah,
And
like
then I have this drawer still, and I don't see any mouse droppings here, but I don't care. Everything is getting a Clorox wash. And then this drawer, cleaning everything out. And this drawer, again.
Oh, bags.
Yeah, but I'm not using any of those bags.
Oh, I mean, they would be so clean, wouldn't they? There's nothing in them.
Oh, so in any case, it is 5:30. Our little ride on Max, we went for 45 minutes and it was glorious. It was just wonderful to get out and about a little bit. And we'll take you with us one of these times when we're out there with Max. But we've got Dave and Sarah coming tomorrow, and maybe a couple of other people too. And I didn't bring enough food for a crowd, so that should be kind of interesting. We're going to be finishing up our wings, our chicken wings. And so that will be for lunch, and then we are all going to head our separate ways. But we'll probably be back next week. The only thing I want to leave to be done is the Viking. I want to have everything else done. So when we come back next week, all I'll have to do is just the Viking, and it's going to take a lot too, like today did. So when I get everything all done, it may be morning, but we'll come back and I'll show you the spick and span kitchen. This is going to be a wonderful kitchen to work in when we come up. So we'll see you shortly when I get everything done.
You're on. You look like a, what, proud mother? I don't know.
I am standing in a completely clean kitchen, woohoo, except for the stove. Floor is mopped, every cabinet has been scrubbed out, all dead mice carcasses have been removed. I wore a mask, and it just is a glorious feeling. All of the silverware has been washed, all of the pots and pans have been washed. So lunch is in the crock pot, ready to go for later this afternoon. We just have a few things out, but this is a clean, glorious kitchen. And I'll tell you what, I'm pretty proud. It took all day yesterday and then about an hour and a half this morning. But we're done. Woo! And then next time we come, we'll be doing the Viking. So little by little. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more adventures at the cabin.